This is your hometown station, WDBJ7.
Now at 6, flooding impacts our hometowns.
We have certain areas that are completely underwater.
This has been a common scene throughout the day. Many roads looking more like rivers tonight, and our region isn't done with all the rain yet. Our team coverage begins now on WDBJ7 at 6.
Good evening, I'm Jean Jadhan.
And I'm Robin Reed. Let's get right to tonight's top story. Justin Ward and Sarah Maki are live at some of the areas impacted by today's flooding. But first, let's go to Chief Meteorologist Brent Watts with just how much rain has fallen and when will it let up.
Robin, a lot of folks want to know that 2 to as much as 5 inches of rain and some of the heaviest downpours that we've seen, causing those creeks, streams, and rivers to rise. And this is a typical sight and even what some of the roads look like today. And I know a lot of you, sometimes you see this, you're like, I've got to get where I need to go, and you try to go across those. But this is what I want to show you. This is a road from out toward the Bristol area today. Water was running over top of that. Once the water went down, the road did not even exist. So if you tried to go over top of that, you would have been flooded and perhaps even washed downstream. So that's why we always tell you, turn around, do not drown, and don't go through these flooded roads. More rain moving from the south toward the north tonight, but this time it shifted a little bit more toward the east. So Lynchburg, Danville, also into the Roanoke Valley, getting in on that moderate to steadier rain as we go through the evening. Still rain through the New River Valley, but it is not as heavy as what it has been over the past 24 hours. So we can expect more rain tonight and tomorrow. In fact, let me show you the latest models, how these are depicting this. You can see the heaviest rain, Roanoke, Lynchburg, Danville, where we could pick up another 1 to 2 inches across the Roanoke Valley, perhaps another 1 to 2 in Danville, about an inch in Lynchburg, and then lesser amounts through the New River Valley. So more rain tonight. Don't think it's going to be quite as intense as what it has been, but the Dan River, also the New River, need to be monitored, and the Roanoke River near Randolph too. We'll have a look at those levels for you coming up in just a few minutes.
Our team coverage continues in Salem, where floodwaters are forcing road closings and traffic is being rerouted. WDBJ7's Sarah Maki is at the Mill Lane Bridge tonight. Sarah, how do things look there?
Well, Jean, we've actually moved to higher ground since we last talked to you at 5 o'clock. That's because these crews out here every now and then start back up, move backwards and forward, pushing debris out of the way to keep the water going. They have made some progress. The water has receded a bit, but it is still going to be a while before this bridge reopens. These twigs and branches are left behind from Tuesday afternoon's flooding when it was at its highest. Crews are still here, pushing debris from the flooded Mill Lane Bridge. The swift current, strong enough to move this log along with it, was cause for concern. Road closures went up, cars rerouted. About 2 miles away, Green Hill Park was closed in sections along the river. Residents say this bridge closure is frustrating, but expected. This area is prone to flooding. You can see how fast this water is moving out of here. So remember that crucial phrase. We repeat it because it's so important. Turn around, don't drown. At least for now, the city is going to make sure that that doesn't happen. They are going to keep this bridge closed. But continuing our team coverage tonight, we know that Justin Ward with WDBJ7, he is at the North Fork of the Roanoke River in Montgomery County. Justin, I know you have seen some of those people who are trying to move through that standing water.
I certainly have. You know, I've seen too many cars crossing flooded roadways to count, and it's been really disappointing to see. You know, we've said it so often, and you just said it, it's now a cliche, don't drive through flooded roads. Well, I was getting video earlier, some drivers at least, ignored those signs.
It's not your smartest decision, and it's probably going to be one of your most costly decisions.
It's a sight that makes first responders cringe. The signs are clear. Road closed, high water. Still, drivers take a chance.
Turn around, don't drown is a real good tip. We have people that will try to cross through what we've got right now. And those are often the people that we're called in to rescue.
Other drivers stopped to take a picture of the rare views, then turned away. Dozens of roads were closed throughout the New River Valley Monday. Flowing creeks turn into rushing rivers and fields into large lakes. The water crept up to back doors and forced livestock to find higher ground. Several days of heavy rain caused creeks to rise and cross roads, and in some cases damage them throughout the New River Valley.
Potholes that were, a couple of feet across yesterday are now 3 or 4 feet across and gotten deeper.
Rain totals have varied through our region. The most eye-catching in the New River Valley was in Carroll County, where the National Weather Service reports nearly 9 inches fell in Woodlawn. Gene, so much rain fell throughout the New River Valley that 5 school systems closed for the day.
That is a lot of water. Justin Ward, thank you for that report. In Rockbridge County, investigators say one person died in a house fire today. It happened here on Bells Valley Road. We are told it is not believed the fire is suspicious. Several cats and dogs also died in that home.
In Martinsville, smoke still fills the air downtown where the Bargains Galore once stood. Firefighters still have not been able to get inside the building to do any investigating at this point. WDBJ7's Hannah Story is live at the scene tonight. So Hannah, what are the officials telling you now?
Robin, they're telling me that the fire is contained on the inside of the building. It's not any threat to businesses or residences nearby, but the scene is still very dangerous. Aaron Street remains closed until further notice.
That does include any businesses, anyone that has any cable through the area, any utilities through the area. That does apply to them as well. This is a fire scene. Anyone caught in the fire scene will be charged as such.
The chief says it will be active for several days, but the weather is helping.
Fortunately, Mother Nature has been our firefighter, which has actually helped us and helped the community quite a bit. It's saving on water supply, it's helping keep the smoke down, and it's helping on the cost of the firefighting efforts as well.
We told you this building was damaged a few years ago due to a fire nearby. The business owner says they had just repaired the roof of the building last week. Then he got a call from the fire chief.
I knew as soon as he called, something to do with my warehouse. Him being the fire chief, I automatically assumed it was my warehouse.
There was no insurance on the building and the sprinkler system was not working. Martin is staying positive and is glad no one was hurt.
I don't really worry about the material stuff too much. Just kind of got me traumatized. But I'll be all right.
Chief Anderson says it could still be a few days before they get inside to investigate this because they need to be sure it's safe before they enter. Even then, they may not be able to determine a cause because of the extent of the damage. Chief Anderson also says that had there been sprinklers, it may not have even made a difference. He also says that if you are a business owner or have a big building like this and haven't gotten a fire inspection in a while, to contact them because they do those inspections for free. Robin, he says that he wants to avoid any tragedies like this from happening again.
Great advice from the fire chief. Hannah, thanks for the update on that story.
In Bedford County, Sheriff Mike Brown is asking for money to help combat gang violence. He wants to add a new deputy who would specialize in gang-related crimes. This comes after 17-year-old Raymond Wood was murdered in Bedford, allegedly by MS-13 gang members. The Board of Supervisors is expected to vote on this tonight. We will have the outcome on WDBJ7 at 11. Happening tonight in Salem, City Council is set to vote on a contract that would bring commercial and residential space to the West Salem Body Shop. WDBJ7's Logan Sherrill is live in downtown Salem with what to expect at tonight's council meeting. Logan.
Good evening, Gene. Now, the contract that's on the table this evening comes from Live Oak Partners. That's a group that includes Ed Walker, Brent Cochran, and a few other. And if they get that project awarded tonight, that old body shop over my shoulder could soon become apartments and a restaurant.
For months, representatives from Salem have traveled to towns similar in size across the Southeast to collect data and find ways to bring business and residential opportunities to downtown. Tonight's meeting could take a big step in that direction. If the contract is awarded, Live Oak Partners have told city officials they will bring at least 10 apartments, commercial space, and a restaurant to a building that is in desperate need of a facelift. This could also begin a long relationship between Live Oak Partners and Salem, as the investment group has shown interest in a number of other downtown properties that will be discussed tonight.
One of those properties you're looking live at right now that Live Oak wants to look at is the farmers market, the piece of land that it occupies. Now, there are no specifics on what the project might include, but Gene, City Council has spoken in previous meetings and for years about their commitment to having a farmers market somewhere here inside the city limits of Salem.
All right, you'll let us know what happens at tonight's meeting. We will see you at 11. Thank you, Logan.
Well, coming up next on WDBJ7 at 6, we have an update on those rescued dogs, when they'll be ready for adoption.
And in tonight's good news here at home, why you can find 500 pounds of shoes at one local school right now.
Plus, Brent is back in the Elephant Auto Insurance Weather Center. Stay right there for your hometown forecast.
Honoring fallen law enforcement in Montgomery County is also helping fund a memorial scholarship. These t-shirts list the names of law enforcement from Montgomery County who were killed in the line of duty. One of those names is Corporal Eric Sutphin, who was killed while on a manhunt in 2006. The money raised from the t-shirt sales will fund the scholarship that is in his name. Orders can be made until May the 10th.
There are more than 50 animals getting cleaned up and ready to be adopted at Angels of Assisi. The Humane Society rescued this group from Georgia. Since they arrived on Friday, the dogs have gotten a lot of attention. Some will be ready tomorrow, but we're told it could be a couple of weeks before all are ready.
We're in the process of getting everyone seen by the vet, getting some grooming done. For instance, this little one right here needs to be groomed and bathed, getting them processed into our computer system so that we can get them ready for adoption.
The shelter not only has these animals who need homes, but also several other dogs and cats. We have more information at WDBJ7.com.
What a soggy weather pattern. That was kind of obvious, wasn't it? Yeah, soggy.
Soggy, and more soggy.
2 to 5 inches of rain in some areas.
Yeah.
Flood alerts continue. And flooding can be so dangerous at night, as Brent will tell you.
It can. And the other thing we're looking at tonight, too, is not just the water, but we could have some even mudslides with some of the rain that has been falling. Anywhere from 1 inch to 2 inches at the airports today, add on what we saw yesterday and more tonight. We'll take a look at when that wraps up next.
Now, from the Elephant Auto Insurance Weather Center, your hometown forecast.
Well, the big question I got asked today is what is causing all this rain? And it's a big storm that's really just cut off and it's spinning. You can see that spin right here on the water vapor imagery. Look how it moved yesterday just a little bit more toward the east, and that's good news because it's shifting the rain a little bit more in a different direction for us today. Now you can see that today we got quite a bit of rain that's been falling across the mid-Atlantic, and notice how it's kind of feeding in a bit more from the south and the southeast today as opposed to straight up into the New River Valley. So it's allowing some of these rivers to go down just a little bit through the NRV. However, we're going to have to keep a close eye on the Dan River, also the Roanoke River at Randolph, because this rain is moving into central Virginia and Southside Virginia tonight, also hitting up against the Blue Ridge Mountains. That helps to wring out some of that rain and enhance it. So rainfall amounts are not going to be quite as heavy through the NRV tonight. Certainly good news. You're going to get the rain. It's just not going to be quite as extreme as what it was earlier. Now, as you look ahead toward tomorrow morning, still going to have some rain falling, especially along and east of the I-81 corridor. Some showers through the New River Valley. Clouds will stick around. But as this storm pulls off to the east, notice how we start to see those breaks in the clouds. The rain shuts off. So by easily mid to late afternoon, everybody should be rain free. And we can't even rule out some late day sunshine as well, giving way to a beautiful Wednesday forecast. Now, as far as the rivers tonight, we are looking at the New River and at Bradford, also at Glen Lynn, going to be cresting tonight, just a little above flood stage there. So we're going to be dealing with that for a bit longer. But more importantly, we're looking at closely the Dan River, also at Danville, Paces, and South Boston for significant flooding taking place starting late tonight and then continuing really cresting late Tuesday and then into Wednesday. Perhaps some flooding as that water continues to move in. Now, that's one of the areas we're going to be very focused on tonight, is just how heavy does that rain come down along the Dan River Basin. Clouds linger tonight. Temperatures remain in the upper 40s to low 50s. And as we look ahead to tomorrow, it will be warmer. Today we were stuck in the 50s in most locations. 60s expected from Roanoke all the way to Danville tomorrow, about 57 in Hot Springs and 62 in Blacksburg. And again, that rain ending by late morning in the west and then in the east no later than early to mid-afternoon. So watch what happens after that. 60s tomorrow, 80s on Wednesday with sunshine. And check it out, the weekend close to mid and upper 80s. Would not be surprised to get a couple degrees away from 90 by the weekend with a couple isolated thunderstorms. What a difference a couple days make. We'll be able to dry out as well with no rain really in the forecast until late week.
Our UVA's linebackers making some big strides this spring. Plus, we're going to head to Bristol where Jimmy Johnson cruised to victory lane in the Food City 500 today. His second straight win in the Cup Series. Sports is next.
Now at the Toyota Sports Desk, here's WDBJ7's Travis Wells.
Mother Nature made race fans in Bristol wait until today for the running of the Food City 500, and lots of folks in Northeast Tennessee played hooky from work today. To the world's fastest half mile we go, where Kurt Busch had early tire issues making contact with Chris Buescher and the inside retaining wall. Brother Kyle had tire troubles as well today. He smacks the wall in turn 2, bringing out the caution, ending his day in the 18 Toyota. Dale Earnhardt Jr. got loose in stage 2, tearing up his race car. Jr. hit the garage after just 218 laps with a broken oil cooler. Martin Truex Jr. was out front late, but a speeding penalty on pit road ended his shot at the checkered flag, giving way to Jimmy Johnson. Johnson held off Clint Boyer for the win today. It's Johnson's 82nd career win and his second at Thunder Valley.
The bottom was really where it was at for the short run, and this low Chevrolet was flying. This track's been difficult over the years. And we really hit on something Saturday afternoon in that last practice session to run the bottom. And it's honestly, it's what I've been looking for here for 16 years, and we finally figured it out.
As UVA heads towards its spring football game this weekend, shoring up the linebacker position has been a focus for Coach Bronco Mendenhall. Senior Micah Kaiser returns at one inside spot, but Jordan Mack and C.J. Stalker are competing for the other.
This spring really, I would say, is a big step forward for really solidifying both positions as far as there's 2 inside linebacker spots. So right now the biggest thing I think is for everyone just kind of knowing both positions, be able to slide in wherever.
Obviously the more people you have, the better. But we're a deep crew, and we're working to get better each and every single day. We still have a lot to improve on, but it's very good to have those guys back, veteran, the playing time, so we can just go out there and play very fast.
At the high school level, more of our local athletes are making decisions about where they'd like to play at the next level as we continue to work our way through the spring sports season. This afternoon, Stanton Rivers' Torrey Scott signed a national letter of intent to play softball at Ferrum College. Scott has played 3 years with the Golden Eagles, but has been playing softball since the age of 6, and she couldn't be happier with her decision.
I'm in love with the game. I mean, you pretty much have to be when you play for that many years, and to be able to go on and play at the college level is just such an accomplishment. When I visited the campus, I was in love with it, and the coaches there are awesome. It's nice to know that it's not my last games, and that, I mean, it is my last games at Stanton River, but it won't be the last time I'll be playing softball. It's really exciting.
And we're coming back after this look at today's stocks.
You know, summer camp season, it's going to be here pretty soon. For the Bath County Soccer Camp, that means having some coaches come all the way from Brazil.
There is a lot of fundraising, too, that goes into keeping costs down. And this year, one big way involves shoes, and a lot of them. WDBJ7's Bruce Young has tonight's good news here at home.
This way.
This
No way.
is what 500 pounds of shoes looks like.
When we sell it to the company, they pay us for the shoes.
And that's how Andrew and his siblings and a bunch of their friends get to go to soccer camp.
It's fun. We do drills and we learn a lot. They teach us a lot about the game and we have fun. We do scrimmages and it's really fun. And they also have us learn things about Brazilian culture and stuff.
Through a group called Tetra Brazil, which brings coaches from Brazil to Bath County. To help fund all that, they've been fundraising through spaghetti dinners like the one happening this evening. And for the first time, by collecting shoes for a company called Fund2Orgs.
Who sells it to people in developing countries, and it helps their businesses.
So it's a combination fundraiser and service project.
Ellen Miller ended up organizing these things when her sons were involved.
The kids work very hard at what they do.
We've put boxes at the library and the courthouse to collect shoes, and we've been pulling them in.
Because this 500 pounds is just a start towards their final goal.
2,500 pounds of shoes.
In Bath County, Bruce Young, WDBJ7.
Life is short, get the shoes.
Yeah, a lot of shoes there. Good work.
2,500 pounds of shoes. It's like Jean's closet, right?
Easy.
Hey,
Easy.
now come on.
Hey, let's talk about the rainfall. We've got continued rain overnight. The heaviest rain is going to be along and east of the Blue Ridge. So from Roanoke to Lynchburg to Danville, that's where the heaviest rain will be tonight. Not quite as heavy through the NRV.
That's a bunch.
It is.
That is a lot. Thanks, Brendan. Thank you for making WDBJ7 the region's most watched newscast. Good night.